say. The seas are streaming and reviewing mods and video games. It says the land in 7 seasons, centuries have passed, until the day a hero named Mariner claimed his task. Deep dark gaming, we love to play video games. We're the free playing, you tell me everyone. Deep dark gaming, we explain mods and games. Deep dark gaming, we sell our games and more. As Mariner set off on his quest and who he needed a crew, the navigator joined the ranks and so did Mr. Q. Sailing for adventure, stories and for treasure, we will help you through, so climb aboard and join the crew. Deep dark gaming, we love to play video games. We'll keep playing until the early morning. Deep dark gaming, we explain mods and games. Deep dark gaming, we sell the games and more.
Ahoy divers and welcome back to Deep Dive Gaming. I am the Mariner and we are back for more Starfield. Joined by, that way, Hiro, beep beep beep, and Mojo. Now I can tickle her. Tick 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 tick. Ahoy Hiro, ahoy Mojo.
What up? Hello?
So yeah, we're tooling around some Starfield while we talk about things gaming related and or not. Ahoy Drakenred.
Hello, Dragon Red.
Ahoy YouTube. Ahoy Twitch. Ahoy Mariner Kitty.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought this would be
Perpetual
cute.
fan.
I thought this would be cute. If I'm wrong, let me know. I can move you.
Oh, nice.
All right. So, what do we want to talk about today? Because while I was trying to figure out what game I'm going to be playing while we chat, I forgot to think about what topic we want to discuss.
What to even talk about? I might throw you for a loop here. Think that maybe a viable topic could very well be talking about the little tidbits that we wrote for the Lagging Out website, if you were interested.
I mean, we could. Mine's a little in depth. Yours could probably be done in a little smaller of a snippet, but whatever. Yeah, let's do it.
It's an idea that I'm just throwing out there.
No, it occurred to me too. I was waiting for. I was hoping inspiration would hit and something else could be brought up, but it's the proverbial elephant in the room, I guess. So,
Fair enough. Well, let's start off light then. The story that we talked about on Friday night, one of them was Procreate, an iPad app, an iPad design app even, that publicly made a statement about not using AI, and not that they're eventually going to use AI, but they're not going to use AI ever. And of the points that I brought up in the article that I wrote, most of it, I'll admit, a lot of it's an opinion piece, really informed opinion if you really want to get down to it, because I, was making, personally, I think, intelligent and informed statements about the potential of AI and the potential of the damages AI can make. So I kind of felt like it was rather informed on how I took my stance, and my stance at the end of my article amounts to AI should be a tool to assist in working, not a tool to replace workers, if that makes sense. I'm kind of thinking while I'm speaking, and it doesn't exactly work out great.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense to me. Of course, I mean, the first thing that I think of is Uncle Ben from Spider-Man.
Yes, I had to resist saying that phrase in the article. Because AI is a very, very powerful tool, and there's a lot of potential to it, but at the same time, if you're going to start replacing workers, excuse me, with AI, you're going to cut out jobs in the industry. And if you cut out jobs in the industry, that's less people that have the ability to spend on products that businesses sell, which will in the end damage the economy. You're looking at the economic effects of this. I didn't get into this in my article, but I'm just kind of spitballing. Go ahead and throw in some thoughts here and there before I just get into what I said with the article.
I have no thoughts because unfortunately I have the dubious duty of using AI tools at work now.
Oh, they made you use them?
Well, made may be a strong word. It's just we were in a hurry. Things happened. Someone's no longer available to do the work that has now been handed to me, and they were using AI tools to do them.
Oh.
So because they kind of left us in the lurch, my only recourse was to resort to using same AI tools to get the job done I needed to do in time for it to matter. And even then, I still managed to take what I was given, do some touch-up effects after the fact, and make something that looked halfway decent.
I mean, again, AI tools are not, in my opinion... Oh, Lord. In my opinion, AI tools... Sorry, I got distracted by something somebody wanted to bring to my attention. I'm not of the opinion that AI is absolutely, totally evil. At the same time, well, I'm just going to take the stance of AI is just a component of computing. Computers do what people tell them to do. They do not think for themselves. They do not formulate opinions for themselves. They can be made to appear to do these things, but still, they're products of human design. And at the end of the day, they are chained
They still need
to
human to run them.
Yeah, they're chained to human will. Maybe, possibly, potentially, we could end up with self-aware computers and AI, but as of yet, I have not seen evidence of that. It is just a learning algorithm. AI is simply an algorithm. So therefore, by its nature, AI isn't evil. Just like any tool in a human's hand, it could be used for good or it could be used for evil. The age-old... I'm not going to go with the political example that came to mind, but...
Oh, Lord, no, please no.
It's the age-old argument, is a tool evil? And if you use some context clues, you can probably guess what tool I'm speaking of.
All right, make it quick, will you?
Yeah, I mean, as far as AI, my only experience is like at least on the art side of it, like digital art versus like AI and traditional art. I look at AI as like a tool like you. It's kind of like using a light box in order to trace an image. There's a huge debate on whether or not tracing is cheating, and I'm all like, but you're more than happy to go out and use AI. It's the same.
Got anything you
No,
need to offload?
so
Trade authorities always buying.
Okay, I've been
right here for you. Okay, no problem.
I've never worked in the art industry, but I've always been... Well, growing up, I was a little bit of a creative. I loved sketching, drawing, doodling, things like that. And just like with any other talent that a person has, if you don't use it, you end up losing it. Well, I, had the misfortune of having my art criticized at a young age, and just dumping it and never going back to it. And probably if I get back into it, I can start drawing and get good and get as good as some of the other people out there that I've seen drawing that are amazing. But I'm familiar with a lot of the tools in the industry still, even to this day. I know of famous comic book artists and famous creators and people that do large scale panoramas and stuff, multi-page panels and things like that. And some of what people do, one of the shortcuts, is actually doing a 3D render of a cityscape and then using a light box or an overlay to trace over it in their panels, and then removing the overlay of what they traced, and then hand coloring and hand designing the cityscape. It is a very, very well-known quote-unquote industry secret that everybody does this, or many people, like a majority of the people in the comic book industry, do this when they're drawing their panels.
Oh, absolutely. I can't imagine somebody trying to freehand the same character over and over and over again.
And that's not even for like a character per se. That's for that's just for backgrounds. They'll hand draw their characters, but they'll do that quick shortcut for backgrounds or for the environment. And honestly, the effect that you get from that tracing of a 3D panorama of a cityscape,
what is going on
that
with the controller?
is
There it is.
that the results of that are amazing.
Oh yeah.
And just like with anything else, I think that a tool is very important. And one of the things that I made in one of the things that I made in one of the statements I made in the article. Sorry, I'm getting distracted again. Squirrel. One of the things that I wrote in my article, which it's not published yet. It's not, I got to do some edits to it.
Yes, you do.
One of the things that honestly, it didn't seem like the edits are too egregious.
Yeah. I mean, if it weren't for the fact that I was busy, I probably wouldn't have, or I probably would have done them for you, but.
Which I kind of figured. But one of the comments I made in the article is effectively to the effect of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Cough, cough. Sorry. So it's like it's 6 1 half dozen the other. If you use the AI, it creates a shortcut, and if you use the AI too much, your talents and skills that were replaced by that shortcut they're going to stunt your growth. However, if you don't use the tool, it's going to stunt your growth on the other side of the spectrum. You're like there was one of the age-old things in tech. Mariner, you work in tech. Do you remember the age-old days of DOS? Windows 3.1.
Let's not talk about that shit.
Yeah.
My friend,
cough, cough,
no.
cough. By the way, cough, cough, cough.
I do not like you in any way, shape, or form. Let me just say that now.
So, I only bring this up to make another point. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go with it.
I was coughing. I was coughing the S word, Mojo.
Oh no, I absolutely get that.
Okay.
So one of the complaints about the advancement of going from text-based interface to a graphical interface is now people are going to lose their skills, or their skills are going to degrade. They're going to, never know how to do it the long way because they've got this shortcut of point and click. And there are things, there are skills, there are tools, there are problems that can only be fixed using a text interface in the IT world, even to this day.
Oh yeah.
However, because of the graphical interface and how common it is just to go point and click, people don't know how to fix these things. Job security for people like me and Mariner, not so much for the people that have been chained to the graphical interface. Then you have other things like back at the invention of the light bulb. Candle makers tried to sue the developers of the light bulb because now they were going to be out of work. Well, candles still exist. Their industry just had to change. The horse and buggy developers, builders, those manufacturers, when the automobile came out, all of the people that had jobs that were related to the horse and buggy wanted to sue the automobile manufacturers. So, I mean, this is going to be another point of, growing pains, I think. Because AI's, you're not going to stop the march of technology, the march of advancement. The only way to make it less painful, in my opinion, is going to end up being to not just accept the AI, but to work with the AI or alongside the AI. Creatives aren't going to be replaced entirely because AI is only going to be able to work well as long as there is information fed to it. The creatives will have to make sure they're the ones feeding the AI. And then the people that, then there's, in my opinion, going to need to be, how do I word this? In my opinion, there are going to be people or somebody that's going to need to guide the growth and development and the use of AI, because there's always going to be that unethical jerkwad. Have to censor myself there.
Thank you.
That unethical jerkwad that's going to use it for evil, quote unquote, or that's going to try and use it for evil. Or try and use it to better themselves or in a way that is dishonest. Like right now, we've already had AI order takers in the fast food industry, and it's already been basically chased away with torches and pitchforks. One, because the customer base is like, this is not getting my order right. And the other because the workers and other people that are dead set against AI made enough of a complaint about it so that it wasn't allowed to take root. You still need your creatives, whether they like it or not, whether the businesses like it or not. You still need your creatives, because AI, it could come up with some pretty neat stuff based off of an algorithm, but it's never going to actually be able to create something new. Which can segue into something else here.
Not sure I'm picking up what you're setting down here, but
Neither am I.
The common complaint of make something new, quit remaking the old stuff.
But that's the problem. You can't do that.
You can't?
No, I mean, literally, anybody who thinks that they've got a brand new idea, if you go back far enough in history, it's been done.
yeah, there's nothing new under the sun.
Perhaps.
Musical chords are used over and over and over again. Occasionally you get one musical artist that tries to sue another musical artist because it's too similar to their song. That's happened a couple of times in my lifetime.
And by token, also my lifetime, I've seen it more than once.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. I'm definitely not saying that
mounting
brand new or completely new, but with enough innovation, ideas, and enough, time in the oven, quote unquote, you can come up with something that will be something that people haven't seen before. If not, and by that I mean not completely 100% new, but people take inspiration.
There's a piece missing from my parts list that I need to be able to mount these weapons where I want to mount them. And I
Do
can't.
you have the skill unlocked in order to get that piece?
But it must be skill locked, yeah. Which I do not like, but I'm apparently stuck with.
That would
So
be
come here.
absolutely annoying. I mean, why give you a piece that needs that piece? But never mind.
Meanwhile, as Mojo has a small conniption.
Fit.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah. Anyways, I guess that's gonna have to do for now. I was just trying to make it seem a little more streamlined and a little less turtle-like, but I think I did okay. Didn't get as much as I wanted to because I'm missing that adapter piece, but whatever. So let's talk. So we've talked about that. My opinion on AI is is pretty much Hiro's. It's gonna be controversial, but it's also not going away.
Chemical sniffers.
The people who use AI
Taking any chances.
as a means to copy paste will go by the wayside. Those who know how to appropriately use the tool as a tool to make art or music or whatever will rise to the top and will be the better for it.
Never a dull day in the big
Yeah,
city.
unfortunately, we've got to go through all the growing pains first.
Yep. Well, that's the same. I mean, we're finally now getting over the growing pains of the internet. I mean, and there's still some growing pains to be had, but there's
You really
Oh, I
got
don't
an
know.
understanding
If we have
about
more-
how to use the internet now that there wasn't before, maybe.
I certainly hope not. Well,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like there's a
I need
lot
some
more
time
work
to
to be done. Well, at least on the security side of things. In just 2 years, I have had my information taken 4 times from 2 different government entities.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
That's not where I was
And all
going,
in
but
just
yeah.
one state.
Just there's the problem is that we have a generation that's used the internet since figurative birth, and those who came around before the internet or came around during the internet are still struggling with some of the capabilities of the internet. Those who are born to the tools have far more knowledge about how to successfully use them most of the time. The people who are actually paying attention know how to use the tools to their benefit.
Oh,
Yeah. Ahoy, Ray!
I have to disclaim that with the joke tag right there.
Yeah. But it seems going to be with AI. It's like it's just now getting. Where am I going? I don't know where I'm going in my menus. It's just now introduced. It will take some time and some adjustment for those people who are actually using it and learning how to use it and use it well. They'll pass on the knowledge to the next generation who will be born into it as an entity and a tool that exists before them and will have the time. They'll have the advantage of youth to learn how and acclimate to said tool to use it very, very well. And they'll outclass those of us who started using it when it first came out because we're still in the process of learning what it does, let alone how to use it. If that makes sense.
It's coherent.
I'm kind of they're splitting my attention between game and conversation, so.
Of course. I think, another
I also
side.
think it's a little bit slightly narrow-minded as far as like the age thing.
I've flown across most of the settled systems and all
I think probably
I still get
yours and my generation, Mariner, will probably take to it very, very easily and well, whether we like it or not. Mostly because you and I grew up in an age of, in the age of innovation. Technological.
Every 2 years,
growth.
something new comes out. We've learned how to adapt quickly.
Wait, how
well,
old do you
more-
all think I am?
I honestly don't have.
I'm
clue,
letting Hiro dig
Mojo.
this hole. I'm just saying. I'm letting Hiro dig this hole because I'm not the one who excluded Mojo in the conversation.
I will say that I only really went that route of conversational path because I already know how old Mariner is. Mojo, I have no idea how old you are. You always make comments that make it sound like you're older than you are. I know that much.
Okay, I am 48 years old, sir.
Okay.
I was around for the Tandy 2000. Okay. In fact, that was my first computer.
Makes me feel like my dad went
I was
cheap and got when he
rocking
got the Tandy 1000.
Right? I am not much younger than you.
Nope.
So yeah, of us all, it is still established that Hiro is the youngest.
Yes. But in most groups, I tend to be the oldest.
Oh, man. I sat behind Jesus in the 3rd grade.
I would, I'll put it this way. You were 10 and I was born, I think would be the right way to say that.
Yeah, he's not an olden yet. He's still in his 30s.
Barely.
By a lap.
Now.
One lap.
He is on his way out the door of the 30s. Okay.
Yes. Please stop writing.
The deviant calls me a fetus.
That's okay. Mr. Mojo was 9 when I was born, so it's okay. I get it.
We will not ask Ray for her to reveal her blushes. At least on camera, on stream. I may end up asking her later off camera. Or have Mojo slip me the number in a private chat. We'll see.
I was gonna say that animation, that exit animation boarding that tram, made it look like you opened the door and then it just closed on you and left without you.
Actually, I was in it. It was Sarah here who was left behind. I also don't. You see this little thingy right here? This little bracket piece or whatever you want to call it?
Yeah.
They should have left it out because every time you see the animation of the tram moving forward, it cuts off right there. Or it clips right there.
Ew.
Raven.
Ray's funny. Or Rogue Raven's funny. They're all funny. Have you listened to Rogue Raven, Deviant, and Mojo on a live stream on Raven's channel, Hiro?
I have heard, I think it might have been Deviant and Raven talking on the same stream, but not Mojo with them. That I can only imagine the absolute shenanigans that comes up with. I had to once again censor myself.
Oh yes. Verbal shenanigans, gameplay shenanigans,
Chaos.
chaos.
Absolute chaos.
Until next
In the
time.
best way possible.
Oh, yeah.
It's a hit.
Raven is an absolute joy to talk to in private, so I can only imagine what it's like talking to Deviant or Mojo privately. More often than not, I just stop myself and like, really? Really, Raven?
Yes, yes, we absolutely do feed off of each other. We could not be in the same state with each other. Oh no. We would get exiled from the country in a heartbeat.
So, oh man, the innuendo as well. That's always fun to listen to. Okay, so anyways, I guess we've talked about Hiro's topic, so I guess it's time to move on to my topic. So yes, I chose, because I've been in a particularly snarky mood for the past few days, to take on the topic of the game specs that were revealed for Star Wars Outlaws. Let's let that sink in for just a second. Game specs for Star Wars Outlaws. So, does anyone remember the controversy that came out when the specs were revealed for Starfield?
Oh, just upgrade your computer.
Yeah. Ubisoft has taken a line from Todd Howard's playbook. So let's start with the minimums or recommend. Let's do the recommended. I've looked at for my article I had to do sort of a up close and personal analysis of all of that compared to my own system, and my opinion might be slightly skewed by the fact that I'm actually able to mostly afford the technology that they're saying is required to play this game. And
welcome, Michael, to the channel.
most of it, like, huh?
This is.
Sorry,
we have
Mojo?
somebody on YouTube saying hello.
Oh, hello, Michael Coleman. Ahoy, and welcome to Deep Dive Gaming. I am the Mariner, and we are playing Starfield and talking about things. I said my name. This frog up here, this is Mojo. She's in the chat and also in the VC. And then over that way, that's the avatar icon for Hiro, who's from Lagonet Entertainment.
I'm waving at my camera like an idiot because it's not on right now.
Always see you, right?
What? Not in the
So
slightest.
you're too used to being on the Lagging Out Live podcast.
I know, right?
Grow some.
So anyways, so recommended, if I'm remembering correctly, are an Intel i5 10th gen processor or equivalent AMD. I prefer Intel and NVIDIA. Get off me.
Yeah, you can prefer whatever the heck you want. I prefer AMD and NVIDIA, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I've never had a
Go ahead, Mojo.
problem with Intel, so
Yay, one of me. Anyways,
I've always been an AMD and NVIDIA fan because I always loved NVIDIA because they always played nice with Linux. Sue me. I've also, for the longest time, I would partake in the shenanigans of hatred between Intel and AMD. But at this point, as long as I've been in the industry, the only thing I could say is that NVIDIA broke the glass ceiling when they started with their new processor generations with the Threadrippers, and at this point I'm like, I prefer AMD. Like what you want, what you like.
We'll compare notes at a more appropriate time for a private discussion. But anyways, the recommended specs is an 10th gen Intel i5, which is pretty much inconsequential when you consider the fact that the GPU they recommend is a 3070 Ti.
Jeez.
wow.
Now
So
I took the extra measure for completeness of actually pricing the parts out.
Oh, how exciting.
I would have
I'd love
to.
take a look.
Hiro, you've got a hand free. Can you get onto the
quite know what to
draft
say.
and read me the number
This
for
is
that?
just...
Yes, I can. Let me
No. Absolutely not.
go to posts.
Far from it. This reads just like a hit piece.
I know the
The very first paragraph. Simple. They're lazy.
Not to
No
mention
spoilers.
it's badly written.
But anyways, the 10th gen, I remember the 10th gen Intel processor being, and I actually recommended because it made more sense instead of going with the 10th gen, that just to buy one game, just to be able to play one game, why not get a 12th gen i5 to play several? And I priced that one out from Amazon at like 200. But I'm forgetting what and the memory was like 50 or 60 bucks, but I'm forgetting what the RTX card price
Do
was.
some research or don't
Okay,
bother
so
writing anything at all.
that's a 4-year-old CPU at about 200. The matching GPU for what it looks like is 50 to 60, depending on the brand.
No, that's the memory.
Oh no, you're right.
Should be the
Oh
very
my
next sentence.
gosh!
Sounds like it was the next sentence.
Motherboard.
Can you imagine how many
Motherboard
credits
is
Oh, yeah,
100
motherboard.
Figuratively,
to 150, and the NVIDIA RTX. Oh god, the 3060 Ti is almost $400 now.
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going around, I guess, with including the case, power supply, and a solid state drive, which is required, you're looking at $1,300 already, and that's bottom end.
Well, it's not bottom end.
Jeez.
Bottom end is GTX 1660, but really, if you're a gamer, you're not going to be at you're not going to get a 1660. You might have. You might have 5 years ago.
Anything.
You might have before COVID got that, and that would have been the top of the line. But we're not at the top of the line of 2020 anymore. Technology has moved on. So that's the recommended.
I've always
PC,
liked that statue.
$1,300-ish, depending on preferences,
I wonder what
outside
the
of those
artist was trying
specs.
to represent.
Best thing, but if you're what they would call an enthusiast, you're going to be dropping another $150 for an RTX 4070 with 12 gigabytes of VRAM.
12
Yeah.
gigabytes. Like, I've never really, well, I never really considered
Hey, no funny stuff in that
GPUs
bag. You got enough
having that much onboard RAM being a real reality.
I've seen them go up to 24.
to the city.
Yeah, and and that's, by the way, that's a very bizarre number for increments of RAM.
It is. Very
That
much
is a
so.
bizarre number because you're supposed to go in increments of binary. Honestly,
Well, it depends.
supposed
There was a time where triple channel memory was a thing. Then they discovered that
is
it's
true.
terrible and moved on.
it was absolutely horrendous.
So then the next specs list. The enthusiasts we've covered. So Ultra.
Oh,
Everything
God.
else stands. Surprisingly, like you could spend another. It's actually I think you need to bump up your price for the CPU by 50, but the number for the RTX 4080 card with what was it, 16 gigabytes of memory? I think 16 gigabytes of VRAM. Hiro, would you like to read that number to the audience?
All right, I'm trying to scroll down to that point.
There's a lot of
So you
exposition
want-
in the article.
Yeah, and I enjoy it. I enjoy your exposition. Don't get it twisted. You're enthusiast. You were talking about a $550 card, which that's already 150 more. You'd mentioned that. Okay, here you go. Finally, for those. Okay, your ultra settings. CPU price, CPU and GPU price bump going from Intel 5 to 7 isn't going to be that much, which is true. You're going from a 4-year-old chip to a 2-year-old chip, give or take.
Well, the 2-year-old chip is covered higher up when you're talking about recommended, because if you're, like I said, if you're going to buy, why go cheap on a 4-year-old processor to play a game when you can buy a 2-year-old game that you can play several with?
Or
That sentence
2-year-old
didn't
chip, yeah.
quite came across, but you'll get it.
Yeah. The prices for the Intel i7 was the same price as the Intel i5. Honestly, when they start
Perhaps,
splitting hairs with
but
those
I'm
different
quite
nomenclatures
confident in my
between 5
business,
and 7,
and I
i5 and
refuse to be
i7,
intimidated.
you're looking at actually
Please, let me know if I can assist
the
you further.
performance of the i5 12500 is similar in performance to the
Yes, I've been
i7
expecting you.
12700,
Here's
believe
your
it or
package.
not.
And don't worry,
12700K.
I've already corrected the ownership
I say
records for
similar.
you.
There's definitely a difference in performance, but
Yeah,
it's
I think the main
you're
difference
splitting hairs.
yeah, the main difference in performance I think is the i5s don't have hyperthreading, whereas the i7s do.
Is it?
Nothing.
It's
Nothing at
I'm
all.
going off of several years old information at this point because it doesn't come up in conversation much these days, at least in my line of
No,
work. But
well, it really doesn't
Sorry,
in my line
all
either.
sales
When
are
we're
final.
looking
Now,
at
if you'll
servers,
excuse
we're
me, I
talking
have other
we're
matters
talking
to attend to.
servers that you look at the specs and you're like crapping your pants because it's like, good God, and you're like,
The Trade
no.
Authority appreciates
When you're talking
your
about
visit.
loads on servers, these specs matter.
yeah,
That's just how things are.
You're
oh, you still
but
haven't
you're
read the
talking about
number
the
yet.
GPU.
Yeah,
Yeah, the GPU. Sorry, you're not talking about a big price difference, as you say in your article here. Your
for the CPU.
memory upgrade, not much of a memory upgrade. Honestly, what I remember from those specs, there wasn't much change in the memory.
No, it was 16
usage.
gigabytes all the way across, which means memory
Which-
is not a factor in playing this game, because they put the entire load on the graphics card.
Which
Feeling it, selling art is a lot
I
of
just
an
have
art.
questions. Why?
you crazy?
Anyways,
Yeah.
that's a different discussion. So your GPU, for the prices of
Get
those.
off your high horse.
Oh my
I didn't
God,
trick you.
$1,200 for that
Very
GPU.
observant.
I did
Why do you
see
have to be
prices
late?
on Amazon
Not
as
getting
low as
paid?
960,
Everything went smoothly.
but still,
It's all part of
with tax
but I
and shipping,
digress.
Oh,
that's still a grand.
Discreet.
yeah.
That's of no
$2,200
concern to
computer.
I
These
told you at the end of
GPUs
our
have
business that we
gotten
will not speak about
ridiculous in prices.
Do not mention my
Honestly, I
word
should be
again.
able to play that game on my computer.
Back to it then.
Yeah.
Like,
What did you
that's
put
like
in
the
your
one-
new computer, Mojo? I don't remember the specs.
Well, I'm looking at right now a 12th gen i5. Got 32 gigs of RAM. Anyway.
12? Did you say 12 gigs of RAM?
No.
32.
Oh, okay.
32 gigs of RAM. I'm on an i5 12th gen.
Okay. And your GPU?
I do not remember right off the top of my head. I'm looking that up.
Modest $1,500.
I do remember
Like
that.
I said, my perspective
pretty
is
penny.
slightly skewed because I'm in the industry and I get better prices than most people, and I can afford said prices more often than not. So I was trying to keep a balanced perspective, but
I think your perspective is still balanced, considering.
okay.
Honestly, I think it's still balanced. The problem I have with this is, why are specs? Why is, first of all, why is there so much spread in system requirements for this game from one end of the spectrum to the other? Which normally I would be like, hey, that's a nice spread. But you're already talking about price of components being ridiculous. Well, in respects to, I will point at the graphics cards. Graphics cards being that pricey make my eyes water. I remember a time when I could build a mid to high range computer, like the top end of mid range, almost top of the line, for under $1,000. And then I was still priding myself at doing that at under $1,500. Now, to get your mid to high range, you're already over $2,000.
What do you want? I'm very
What?
busy.
Why? And then you
What?
want to play it with
Let me see.
Ultra?
Oh,
You want to play with Ultra
I
settings?
went to the Sankt
You're looking at an
University a while
almost
back.
$5,000
Haven't
computer.
checked it out again though.
Not considering. I mean, I put the number there at 2400.
well, 2200 for the mid to high. But if you want to go high range, your graphics card immediately jumps in price. If you're going high end,
Right, but there's only one step
graphics
up.
card is
There's only one step up from where we are with Ultra for Star Wars Outlaws, and that's because that's the 4080. The next thing up is the 4090. Now it's probably given the how the pricing structure is these days, $1,500 for that. In which case, yeah, you could be 25, nearly 3,000.
Yeah, well, I'm talking if you're doing a brand new build,
truth is that I
also,
wanna-
and it's
if
going to
I
be a
do,
high range computer.
that's true.
The graphics card alone, and I was looking at replacing my graphics card recently. If you recall, I had an issue go down with my build that was like 4 years old.
Yeah.
I don't. Well, I'm gonna probably cause some skipping here, but I'll pull it up because I can't remember off.
We either lost him or he's deep in concentration.
I think he's thinking really, really hard.
Yeah. So, how goes Fallout London for you, Mojo?
I took the elevator ride
It's
ever
a
in a
privilege to be able
phone
to
bot.
work for the UC government. Really? Nice.
Oh yeah, and I have a
went there a while back.
AMD Radeon
Good to see
RX
they still remember me.
7600.
I wish I knew more about AMD so I could say where that was on the range.
Mm,
Creepy?
I don't remember
Because of
now.
my job, but still, it was nice.
I want to say it was comparable to the
Yeah,
4080 or
I
the
think I will.
4060, but
But hey,
Okay.
nice, cool. Well, hey,
So yeah, we'll be back on Fallout London tomorrow night. Meanwhile, Hiro, you got your information?
I'm beginning to believe we actually did lose him.
We might have lost him. Let me send him a DM. He's still in the VC, but that doesn't mean a whole lot.
No, he may be just chatting away.
Okay, so
Okay, yeah.
Look at my specs. I
think he had to
kicked
mute.
out of audio.
Oh yeah, we suspected.
So I was looking at my current graphics card is a 2070 Super. It's not high end anymore. When I got it, it was pretty close to the high end. What, 4 years ago? And I was looking at prices to replace that thing with whatever would be the equivalent close to high end, and the graphics card alone was $800, and most of them were over 1,000 that I was looking at. That was like the lowest price for the card I was looking for.
Okay.
And yes, mine is comparable to the 4060.
Okay. So you're running about what I'm running, just maybe a little bit less, because I sprung for the 4070 Ti. Because at the time, I knew Starfield was coming out. It wasn't out yet, but I knew what the specs were for it, so I planned ahead.
No, I went with something a little bit stronger than what Starfield was recommending for the ultra settings. So.
Oh no, it's KSP2 I was planning for. RIP KSP2, by the way.
No, it didn't go so well, huh?
Oh, it's been shut. Like, Take-Two Studios, Gonzville.
Gone. Dang.
We're hoping that someone picks up the game. Someone maybe who understands a little bit better about what Kerbal Space Program is. But it's not looking good. I know Matt Lown, who's one of the premier YouTubers featuring KSP2 content, gave up on making KSP2 content and has been talking, and at the time was following the Take-Two news, or lack thereof, very closely. And he's had private communication with some people on the team or was following certain members of the team on Twitter, or both actually, who pretty much said that they were now unemployed from Take Two because Microsoft, was it Microsoft? Someone closed that studio. I can't remember who exactly it was, but yeah.
I believe it was Microsoft because they closed down like, what was it, 30 of them total?
Yeah. The COVID bubble has a burst. But yeah, so
I didn't think
that's the breakdown. Like I said, I go into some exposition in the article. I'll let y'all read it. I'll post on to the Lagging Out Discord when we get these two articles published. But if you want to keep an eye out for them, go to lagginout.com, click on the articles link, and we are still under construction. There are some items that we're still fine-tuning or figuring out the styling for and whatnot. But the articles are there. The website domain is active. Hiro, you asked me something about Winry.
Oh, Winry, one of our friends of the channel, is rebuilding the merch store on a different platform from what it currently is on. And currently it's on, I think it's Designed by Humans or Spreadshirt. I can't remember.
Spreadshirt's the old one, but Designed by Humans, I think, is probably the newest one.
No. He used Spreadshirt once upon a time. I think he used Designed by Humans once upon a time, many, many years ago. That's why I'm getting them confused. Whatever the current store is on, I don't remember. She's currently building it up to be on the fourth wall, which is another storefront that does merch for creators. And I found in the account that, like, she gave me the information for the account and I looked it over. There is an API to tie into websites. So we could work on tying that API into the current website if we have that capability.
I'd imagine we do. It's probably, if it's not directly built in through the shopping cart aspect of the server, it would probably be a plugin that we could get pretty quickly.
Okay.
Oh yes, thank you Mojo for the blurb on the YouTube side. Check out Hiro at Lagging Out Entertainment's live stream Friday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern time. And is that a quick say? Oh, that's a hydrate from Ray, who made me pay for that and for bugging her about that yesterday by hitting hydrate every like 5 minutes. Here they come. Are you playing catch up, Ray, or are you actually telling me to hydrate?
For each of us.
Oh, okay. One more than for Hiro. There it is.
Oh, she's got all three there, yeah.
Okay. I only saw two come in on the chat. Okay. There it is. Now I see whatever. Okay. Hero's hitting the quick save. Thank you very much. Okay, so I guess before we go any further, do we want to keep going? Do we feel good? Do we want to keep just having a stream of consciousness, or are we about time? Is about time to wrap things up?
You guys may continue, but I think I'll be wrapping up here in about 5.
Okay.
Because I wanna make my edits. I'm gonna need a reminder for my article on those two individuals you'd mentioned. For what they exactly had said, because I can't remember off the top of my head.
See, that's why you got to watch the stream back after the broadcast.
It's funny because I was there. I was on the live. Shame on me for forgetting.
Yeah.
I've got it right here.
Oh my God, these character models, some of them are hideous.
So,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I am not impressed. I've never been impressed with the character models on this game.
Then you're
oh.
good. I already talked to
Are we talking about
From
Starfield
Fallout
now?
4
You're
to
welcome,
Starfield,
kid.
they have gone
It's
in
just
reverse.
You know, there was
Things change.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, Starfield.
I'm
Just
sorry,
like looking at
I
this, like
couldn't
that one in the
wait.
background,
I'm
that one
glad
looks
you
all
done
right.
that.
But this
Here's
person you're
the
talking
suit.
to right now,
Be
I got
careful. It's a little hot.
caveman vibes.
Yeah, and it.
Okay, so I'm not the only one that gets caveman vibes.
No, and the fact that she's looking straight up.
The eyes are also.
What's wrong with the eyes?
They still haven't fixed the
Raven,
eyes.
come on. Give yourself some more credit than that.
You take care of Tahir.
Yeah,
for
you're
me,
right, though.
okay?
The 1,000-yard stare isn't exactly there
man's
anymore.
been
But if you
through
start looking
so
too
much.
closely, yeah.
So yeah.
I've seen paintings that had eyeballs that followed better than that. Big dang.
You, oh my god, you and Raven. Talking to the two of you.
So, where were we? Oh yes, we were giving Hiro grief about the fact that he doesn't watch the streams back. To be fair, I haven't actually watched most of last Friday night's stream either, be it only because I've been busy, and the only things that I did go back and I watched the segment that you guys did about Star Wars Outlaws, just so that I could kind of get your opinion on it.
Home sweet home.
Yeah.
It
I mean-
really is holding that message for that word.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh my goodness. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
At the end of the
Deviant.
day,
Get her,
home is
Deviant.
home,
Get her.
Even if it's a bad one. But thanks for the help.
Oops.
I probably would have found it on my own, but
Why is he over there
it's
now?
been a chore. Oh, right.
That's another
the
question.
suit
Like, do
from
you have
Case.
like characters that just kind of
Man, it's been a long
disappear
time
and then
since I had a
appear
warm
5
meal.
miles away?
No,
reason?
the problem has always been with the companion followers being so far away from
Before
conversations
I got hurt,
that it's like
it
moving
didn't
to a
matter
completely
how bad
different.
my day was or
like,
how empty my pockets were.
You can't.
As long
If
as
it
I
weren't
had
for the
food,
it weren't for the dialogue camera,
I'd
you would
be
not hear their lines at
all
all
that
because they
weight
were
would
so
just
far away.
Wash away.
Jesus.
But I've got a mod installed that makes sure they stay closer than that. But it doesn't help when the NPCs I'm trying to talk to wander off.
Thanks.
It also doesn't help when NPCs that you're not talking to decide to run through the NPCs you are talking to.
Or run in front of while you're having an active conversation, yeah.
There's a store right there behind Sarah that's called Jake's.
Really? Where? There it is.
Right there.
Yeah.
How could you not go into your own store?
I'm gonna do you one better. I'm gonna see if I can get a screenshot of this. 1 second. Oh no, it's cutting off the J. There we go. Alright, so yes, I know Starfield. You don't like console commands. Let's see. We
I don't
want.
like anything.
Okay, so TM, and then print screen, and then I need to turn the character so he's actually looking at the camera, which is not how this works apparently.
Why?
Well, he was sort of
He was
looking at the
looking at the
camera. I want to angle it this way so he's facing the camera versus just looking at it.
Or looking in its general direction.
Yeah. And now it's doing it again. Okay. I could get him to look at the camera previously. Come on, there. Okay, that'll work. Turn that back on. Okay, so I guess it's time to say goodbye to Hiro. I think I will also probably end the stream here. Ahoy, enraged gecko.
Hey,
Welcome to
more
Deep Dive
fans.
Gaming. Sorry, I can't stay longer. Or I guess I could, but I'm not gonna. So, tomorrow night we will be back for some Fallout London. So be sure to tune in for that. 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific. I've not been doing so well on the English accents lately, but and then Thursday night we will be on Lagonaut's channel for a continued Fallout London stream, so be sure to check out that. Did we give a shout out to Ray and Rogue Raven? I don't think we did, so let me do that real
We
quick.
have not.
Let me get that going. There's that one. And there's
Oh, we both did it.
That one. How do you have shout out permission, Hiro?
I don't know.
I guess it's, we'll have to work on those settings.
It's a free for all.
Yeah, because you should be. You're not a moderator on my channel, so I don't know how that works.
No.
And then we'll do one more. We'll do one more for logging out. Maybe.
I'm sure that's not like open to everybody to do.
It might be open to everybody, and we just have to go and fix it in the settings. We'll look at that later. But anyways, until next time, enjoy Starfield if you dare. Fair winds and fun gaming, y'all. Say goodbye, peoples.
Bye, peoples.
Perfect.
Goodbye, peoples.
Perfect again. Bye.